Welcome to another exciting episode of Ancient Anecdotes powered by Listen Cub. This is your host, Ramanathan Iyer.
This is Archana Anirvachan.
This is Neeti Ramanathan.
And this is Lalita Ramanathan. Appa, I am so excited to introduce Archana Auntie.
Absolutely, so am I. For the rest of the world, Archana is a very, very dear friend. She has spent years of her early life working with youth in Africa and improving the quality of their education. She has lived adventurously, but apart from swimming in the third largest lake in the world alongside crocodiles and hippos, her biggest achievement so far has been to successfully regularize her 3-year-old son's sleep schedule. She also practices healing modalities that help people in chronic pain and has taught thousands to meditate over the last 12 years. We are delighted to have her on this episode. Now, let's dive right in.
Appa, can I sleep for some more time, please?
Papa, we have to leave to the temple, Pa. We haven't come all the way here from Bangalore to have a nap. We could have done that there only, no?
But Appa, I'm so sleepy.
Okay, come. I will hold you on my lap for 30 seconds. But after that, you have to get up. Is that a deal?
Deal, Pa.
Papa, it is time up. Come, let's get up.
Appa, I know we have to go to the temple, but the another part of me is convincing me to go to sleep. What should I do?
Consume both these thoughts and remember the higher goal. Beyond waking and sleeping back is the goal of the day. Remember that.
Huh? Going to the temple. But the sleepy side is winning, Pa.
Come, I'll tell you a story as to how working towards a higher goal will propel you towards easily overcoming this conflict inside you.
Ooh, story time.
Lalita, nowadays you're taking too much time in the bathroom. Make sure you come out quickly today. We have to go out.
Okay, Ma. Appa, tell the story quickly.
No way. Listen to your mother now. Then I will tell you. But first, complete your bath quickly, okay?
Appa, I'm done bathing. Now tell the story, Pa.
Papa, come out. Now let's go to the temple. The story will make more sense then.
Ooh, ouch, ouch, hot. Appa, wait. How are you walking so fast? The temple premises are so hot at this time of the day.
Yeah. That's why I'm walking fast. So the stones doesn't scald the feet. Now catch up.
Appa, which place is this, Pa?
Tirukkurungudi. Say?
Tirukkurungudi. Appa, which temple is this, Pa?
This is the great Vaishnavanambi and Tirukkurungudivalli Nachiyar temple.
Oh, so beautiful, Pa. But why are we in the inner praharam gaping at the walls and not going and seeing the main deity inside, Pa?
Because there is every reason to gape. See that image over there? What do you see in that image?
A big bird holding an elephant and a tortoise, and a large branch with some bat-like things hanging from them.
Not holding an elephant and tortoise, Papa. Oh no. Eating. That is the great Kashyapeya eating Vibhavasu and Supratika.
Kashya who?
Kashyapasya putraha iti Kashyapeya. Sage Kashyapa's son.
So that means Indra, Pa.
See, you also made the same mistake. Is Indra the only son of Kashyapa?
Well, the only sun famed in the three worlds. So wait, you are telling me that this is Kashyapaya but not Indra? Who else can be called Kashyapaya and can be known to be more famous than Indra, Pa?
That's easy. Only one awesome son of Kashyapa fits that description. That would be the great Garuda.
Ooh, what an epic intro. Oh God, the way you asked me all those questions and introduced Garuda, I forgot the other two names. Who are those two Garuda is eating, Pa? And why is a huge bird consuming an elephant and a tortoise?
Behold the iconic sculpture of Garuda consuming Vibhavasu and Supratika. Remember the story I spoke about in the morning when I was trying to wake you up?
Yeah, the story you've been postponing to tell since morning.
Well, guess what? Now I'm going to tell it.
Yay, finally!
In a distant land called Vilamba, in the northern quarters, there lived the great Sharat Chandra Rishi, a well-educated scholar of Vedic practices. He had two children, Vibhavasu and Supratika. He taught his children how to perform austerities from a really young age. At the end of a fruitful tutelage with their father, the children were able to complete such tapasya that even experienced rishis find it tough to achieve in one shot. But as marriable age approached, there were differences in their basic character that became more and more obvious. By this time, Rishi Sharat Chandra had adopted Vanaprastha and had begun his spiritual travels, leaving his two children to fend for themselves. Vibhavasu was very staunch with his practices. He laid down strict rules to do his austerities and was not interested in anything else. But how can you run a house when you're not going to put in some effort to earn some money by having a proper profession that helps you to get your sustenance? How can you do this without striking the balance between just spiritual practices and purushartha?
Appa, what is sustenance?
Necessities, pa. Food, clothing, shelter, Wi-Fi, internet, public transport.
Okay. And Purushartha?
Purushartha is the effort taken from our side to ensure our needs are met. So, if you are running a family, then earning money, buying stuff for the home, and the people there all come under Purushartha. Anyhow, Supratika was the exact opposite. She was indeed God-loving, but her interests in finances and how to earn and save money made her irregular with her spiritual practices. Seems familiar? One day we are able to do our pranayama and kriya, and the next day we spend too much time in the bathroom, and so then there is no time for our practices.
Don't remind me, Pa. I am working on this tendency.
Okay. As long as you know what needs to be done and what needs to be worked upon. Anyhow, one day, the children got into a fight with each other. Vibhavasu wanted some money to buy samagri for a yajna he wanted to conduct. And he asked his sister Supratika. Supratika, on the other hand, complained that she had no help from her brother to earn enough to run the house. One thing led to another. Soon, the children both ended up telling things they didn't mean. As word came to blows, Vibhavasu exclaimed,
I know you need money to live. Why do you only sport a single pointed focus to money alone? No amount of my reasoning with you to further your spiritual practices seem to bring any change in you. May you become an enormous elephant that doesn't deter from its path, even if there are trees blocking its advance.
Enraged, Supratika barked back.
He who chooses spiritual stability over basic purushartha to fend for oneself and one's daily needs is verily like a tortoise. How are you different from Rishabhadeva's son Jadabharata, who got entangled with a deer. May you become what you symbolize, a tortoise of huge proportions.
The power accrued through their sacrifices shone forth, and the curses took shape. They became creatures of immense size. The elephant stood at a height of 6 yojanas and stretched 12 yojanas in length, while the tortoise measured 6 yojanas tall and 10 yojanas long.
Appa, what's a yojana?
It is an older system of measurement, Pa. According to contemporary measurements, 1 yojana in that time is equivalent to 12 kilometers now. Now tell me, in terms of kilometers, how long of an elephant did Supratika become?
Oh God, Pa, 1 yojana is 12 kilometers and the elephant was 12 such yojanas. So 12 times 12 is 132. No, 144, Pa. An elephant that is 144 kilometers long? Oh my God.
That's right. Oh my God, indeed. A good job with the numbers. Did you know 144 kilometers is more or less the distance between Electronic City bus stop in Bangalore and the city of Ambur in Tamil Nadu when we are traveling to Chennai? And even after they cursed each other to become such huge animals, the siblings continued to fight and cause continuous disaster to the people of Vilamba and their property. Now, Vilamba was a beautiful land surrounded by pristine mountainscapes bedecked with neem and fig trees. It had beautiful glades replete with gentle fauna. So, it made sense that it was in these surroundings, in these fertile mountains, where the great sage Kashyapa had chosen the place to build his hermitage to further his practices.
Appa, what is fauna?
In contemporary botany, flora refers to plants and fauna refers to the animals in that place. Anyhow, one day, as the good sage was meditating in a nearby hill, it is said that the people of Vilamba and the nearby villages got together and approached him for respite from the constant calamities caused by these two belligerent animals. The villagers said, "O revered sage, please grant us a way out of this misery. We are unable to stir out of our houses and go to our fields for work. If we leave for work, we aren't sure if the house will remain when we return. If we stay at home, we aren't sure the fields will survive. While we are still ruminating what might happen to our fields or our house, huge rocks suddenly come crashing on our ceilings. We are really helpless. Why don't you ask your son to do something about these two animals?" Now, let us pause for a bit, Papa.
Why, Pa? Do you need a bio break?
No, Pa, it is quiz time. Do you remember the time when I said, "son of Kashyapa," and then you automatically assumed it was Indra?
Yes, Pa.
Like you, when the villagers said, "your son," they were all thinking of Lord Indra. Kashyapa, however, smiled and said, "Soon, my dear people, soon, my son will surely come to your assistance." Only he knew that he was referring to Garuda and not Indra.
Oh, so Garuda is also called Kashyapa.
Yes. Meanwhile, miles away at the land of Ramaniyaka, which was an island, the great Kashyapaya takes the resolve to obtain the amphora of ambrosia from Devendra and free his mother Vinata from 1,000-year slavery to Aunt Kadru. He has to fly across the realms and into another dimension, that of Swargaloka. It was a long and a wearisome journey that needed food.
Sustenance.
Yes. So he asks his mother for some suggestions as to what he can consume before he can embark on the mighty journey. Devi Vinata suggests consuming a whole clan of Nishadas who lived on the mountains of Sunashepa.
Appa, who were the Nishadas? And why would she ask the Garuda to eat all of them?
Oh, we are so alike. I asked Grandad the exact same question at this point in the story. Why all of them indeed? One or two could have been okay, no? Grandad used to tell us that according to the Ashwamedhika Parva in the Mahabharata, these fallen Nishadhas were warriors who lived during Parashurama's reign. They were cursed to reincarnate even if one Nishada was left on the face of the earth.
Why did they get this curse, Pa?
Well, they were Kshatriyas who stood by the evil 1,000-armed Kartavirya when he beheaded Rishi Jamadagni. 17 tribes consisting of Kashas, Pundras, along with the Shabaras and Nishadas stood by Kartavirya. When Parashurama killed the 1,000-armed king and brought the sharp end of retribution to the necks of all these tribes, they fled like wild deer to the mountains in each direction. They could not come back to the path of dharma since no sage or guru was there to help them with the light of knowledge. We are so fortunate that way, isn't it? We have a guru in our life. But think of the Nishadas. Generation after generation, they were spiraling in a meaningless life. It was Garuda who was meant to break them out of that circle. Even after consuming the last Nishada, Garuda was still hungry. Atop the lofty hills on Ramaniyaka, he stood and surveyed the four quarters. Where will he find his sustenance? North of Ramaniyaka, Vainateya felt a sudden pull of affection and love. He felt wave upon wave of sage Kashyapa's meditative vibrations. He recognized his father at once, so he leapt into the air. A few flaps of his powerful wings brought him above the neem and fig trees in the glades of Vilamba above the sage's hermitage. Garuda prostrated at Kashyapa's feet. Kashyapa urged the prone form of Garuda back to his feet and held his son in a loving embrace. He must have heard Garuda's stomach grumble right about that time. With amusement, he looked askance at the golden-feathered Garuda.
Oh father, I am yet to leap to the clouds to get the Amritam from Devendra to free Mother Vinata. I have consumed every Nishada there is, but my stomach is still ablaze with hunger. What will sate this hunger? Please guide me, O father.
Garuda exclaimed, "My dear son, not far from here, beyond the mountains, where the plains of Vilamba merge into the serene waters of the Chitrala lake, you will see two huge animals fighting, an elephant and a tortoise, colossal embodiments of a discord as old as time itself, clash with unyielding ferocity. This is no ordinary skirmish, but the continuation of a saga that began with Vibhavasu and his sister Supratika, the sage Sharatchandra's children. Their arguments had culminated in a mutual curse that transformed Supratika into an elephant and Vibhavasu into a tortoise. Despite their new forms, their feeling of enmity still remains unaltered till date. O mighty Vainateya, as they continue their battle on the coasts of the vast Chitrala lake, driven by a relentless desire to vanquish each other, the poor villagers of Vilamba are terrorized unnecessarily as collateral damage. You arrive in the nick of the time to settle this age-old conflict. Feast upon these two adversaries, a task that you must perform before your quest for the celestial nectar. Go forth, consume these animals, and with that, their ancient enmity as well. May victory be yours, Vijayi Bhava. Kashyapa said. Garuda bade farewell to his father and rose into the skies with a screech that resonated in every direction like a thunderbolt. His eyes incessantly espied the two large battling animals in a distance. The villagers of Vilamba came out hearing the screech.
Oh God, are we going to be terrorized by 3 animals instead of 2?
Screamed Sankirna, one of the frightened villagers of Vilamba. In a few seconds, as Vainatheya came closer and closer to the land, the villagers' hearts leapt with joy as they realized Vainatheya's size and mettle was far greater than the 2 animals. Vainatheya swooped down, and a sharp gust of wind blew the 2 huge animals off their feet. Both the elephant and the tortoise fainted immediately with the sheer force of the gust. Not one muscle of effort was used by Vainatheya to fight those 2 animals. With what looked like no effort at all, Vainatheya finally picked up the animals with his talons and flew away.
Yaar sir ninga? Who are you, O kind sir? Have you come to our rescue, O ranger of the skies? Are you Indra?
Screamed Sankirna in awe. Garuda's sharp ears caught Sankirna's words. He turned around and said,
Indra, my father sage Kashyapa has sent someone better. I am Garuda.
As the villagers chanted,
Hail! Hail the great Kashyapa! Hail Garuda!
Garuda rose to the skies, reaching the majestic groves of Vilamba. A mighty tree called Rohina then spoke to Garuda.
O mighty Suparna, when this grove was made, I was planted as a small sapling by your father, sage Kashyapa himself. He cared for me dearly, watered me, and he chanted the Yajurveda Samhitas every day here. I have grown tall and strong, hearing your father's sonorous voice and sacred hymns. These sacred sounds are embedded in my very being. I want to render some service to you. Serving you will earn me the contentment that I served your father. I see that you carry a heavy load and need a place to complete your meal. I request you complete your meal on me. Seat yourself on one of my mighty branches. They are all 100 yojanas long. I owe Sage Kashyapa's family this much. Actually, I owe him much more.
Garuda heeded Rohina's words and sat on the branch. Just as he placed his entire weight on the branch, he saw all the Valakhili rishis were actually meditating on the same branch, hanging upside down on them. You remember the bats you saw in the image?
Yes.
Rohina was a large tree, but the combined weight of the animals with Garuda's weight was too much for the branch. As the branch snapped loudly, Garuda fluidly caught the branch with his beak and flew silently into the air. He closed his eyes and communicated with his father.
Oh father, my elder cousins are all meditating deeply underneath this branch. I must take them to safety.
Sage Kashyapa heard his son's thoughts and answered quickly. There is a deserted mountain nearby, Vainatheya. Take the branch there and offer food for the small rishis as they break their meditation. Garuda did as he was told. Shortly, he found the deserted mountain his father had spoken of. Garuda gingerly placed the branch on the ground of the deserted mountain. He was just in time, since Immediately, the Valakilya rishis came out of their meditation. Quickly placing the fainted animals aside, Garuda stood respectfully with folded hands and spoke to them in gentle, kind voices.
Oh, great sages, welcome back. You have been meditating for so long. You must be hungry. I have got some wild animals for your lunch. Shall I cook them for you?
Garuda asked them. The rishis were delighted to see Vainateya. They remembered their blessings to Devi Vinata. They spoke to each other in hushed tones. Do you recognize this fine young man? This is the bane of Indra. What a delight it is to see him, isn't it? Then they turned to Garuda and said, Food? No one has ever offered any food for us any time before. What a kind soul you are, Vainateya. We are so happy that you even asked. May your expedition to Swarga bear sweet victory. As for food, no. We can't accept it. We are fasting, you see. We still have a long way to go. But don't you worry. We anyhow hardly ever eat anything. If at all we get hungry, we eat some leaves or fruits. But we are so moved that you even offered us food. Okay. We must continue on our meditations. We are off to find a cave. Shambho Mahadeva. As the rishis departed, Garuda heaved a sigh of relief just after all the rishis were out of the earshot. He then turned to the fainted animals. His hunger was killing him. To his surprise, Garuda found Supratika the elephant had woken up. Supratika soon looked around groggily and realized what had happened. She realized that she was about to be eaten. Her Purva Janma Samskaras took over and she made a sincere prayer to Lord Mahavishnu.
Appa, what's a Purva Janma Samskaras?
Well, they're impressions from a previous lifetime, Papa. As a sage, Supratika had learned about the final prayer that one makes just before one's life leaves. And she knew that it was the last chance for anybody at redemption. Supratika remembered her human life and all her spiritual learnings and makes a prayer to Lord Mahavishnu sincerely. There was a blinding flash of light and the entire mountainscape was engulfed in a loving and embracing cool. Celestial conches were blown and celestial hymns filled the skies. Sahasra Sirisha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Ashtatishtat Dashangulam. Lord Mahavishnu appeared in his cosmic form and addressed the elephant. O Supratika, this is the second time I have dropped everything and come running because a large elephant called out to me in their final moments. I have some good news and some not so good news for you. What do you want to hear first? Supratika said,
With you around, O Lord, any news is good news. You have compared me to the great Gajendra. What else does this poor one need? But let's get the bad news out of the way.
Oh Supratika, the bad news is that in your next lifetime as well, you are going to be a huge elephant called Supratika. You will be Bhagadatta's steed and you will fight in the Mahabharata war and you will get killed there. Supratika's smile vanished into a puff of smoke. He let out a squeal of fear.
Oh shucks, what rotten luck! Oh Madhusudana, I wonder what the good news is.
Well, the good news is that you will remember your previous birth and you will be devoted to me. You will advise Bhagadatta not to side with the Kauravas and side with the Pandavas instead. Bhagadatta won't listen to you, however. That would be the last birth and then you would reach me immediately afterwards.
That sounds amazing, O Madhava. Will you be the person who will rid me of the next birth?
Well, not really. You will die, in fact, at the hands of Kunti Putra Bhimasena. You haven't done any egregious and awful sins like stop the Sanat Kumaras from entering Vaikunta, have you?
No, not that I remember, Janardhana.
Mumbled Supratika. It was soon time for Lord Narayana to depart. Supratika paid her respects to Lord Narayana, and with another blinding flash, Lord Narayana vanished from there. Garuda, meanwhile, stood fixed to the ground. His eyes looked sightlessly where Lord Narayana had stood just a few seconds back. His heart throbbed with new love.
Hey, big bird, are you going to eat us or what?
Demanded Supratika impatiently, as she knew that this lifetime has to get over first for all good things to happen to her.
Huh? What?
Garuda woke from his reverie and looked around.
Hey, where is that divine being? I have never seen him before in my life, but I have fallen for him. I wish to always be with him forever and ever,
Said Garuda.
That's Sriman Narayana. He is easily attained through sincere prayer.
Said Supratika. Grandad used to tell us that it was actually the humble Supratika who initiated the great Garuda into Bhakti Marga, the path of true worship. Garuda was hesitant to eat his guru, but Supratika reminded Garuda about his daunting task of freeing his mother from slavery. Supratika's demise would also bring Garuda closer to his goal, and the great elephant reminded Garuda that even the most unlikely of people can be one's guru if one is awake, and that Garuda must always do his duty. Supratika also teaches the true meaning of Karma Yoga to Garuda. Garuda is said to have proceeded to consume the two animals and then complete his conquest of Amaravati. He brings the Amritam to the Nagas and frees his mother Vinata from the clutches of slavery.
Appa, wait.
What happened?
I have so many questions.
Oh God, why am I not surprised? Go on.
First, you started the story by telling that when there is a conflict within us, we should focus on the higher goal and rise above it.
Perfect, right. What about it?
How is the story of Garuda eating an elephant and a tortoise relevant to this point?
Good question. See, we are generally always a slave of our tendencies, isn't it? We want to get up early, but ultimately we give in and decide to sleep off. When we are in the grip of such opposites, we are always faced with two inner enemies. One is laziness and the other is stubbornness, isn't it?
Always, Pa.
When we then give in to this tendency and go back to sleep, there is a sweet voice inside us that asks us to wake up. This voice is like our mother. There are these other two voices also. One that says, "What is the use of waking up?" This is laziness. Then the sweet voice reminds us, like our own mother, that you have great things to do in your life and that you should not be lazy. Then one more, the third voice inside us tells, "No, I don't want to wake up. I want to sleep some more." This voice is stubbornness. Am I right so far? Is this what is happening with you as well?
Yes, Pa. How did you get it so accurately?
Well, that's simple. This is what happens with every one of us. That sweet voice that wakes you up in the morning is like Mother Vinata. It is like our mother. It reminds us of our goals and all the great things we need to do. But we then end up listening to the voices of laziness and stubbornness. It is then like our own mother has been enslaved.
Like Vinata becoming Kadru's slave.
Correct. Our awareness is symbolized by Garuda. Garuda needs energy to liberate his mother from slavery and consumes Vibhavasu, who symbolizes laziness, and Supratika, who symbolizes stubbornness. When we want to do something good, our old habits hold us back. They consume valuable energy, which we could have used to further our good interests. So Kashyapa, the father, reminds Garuda to consume these animals to liberate the mother Vinata.
Ooh, but why does this happen in the first place, Pa? Why do we feel laziness and stubbornness?
That is the big question, isn't it? We always think our good habits are optional. It is necessary for them to be practiced every day. Then only it will become second nature, but we don't realize it.
How, Pa? It is so tough.
See, you have in fact overcome laziness and stubbornness in the past. Just think, when it becomes a necessity to attain your goals, then you really don't pay any attention to laziness or stubbornness. Suppose today you have an examination and you haven't taken a bath yet and you are running late to catch the bus for the exam. Then you don't wait for the water to heat up for the bath. We just take a quick bath with 2 mugs of water and rush out.
Yes, that's true.
Correct. But if you are getting ready for a normal day at school, how long do we take to finish bathing? We want the water temperature to be perfect. We then apply coconut oil as though there are hours and hours remaining for the bus to come. We simply sit in the bathroom looking here and there. We totally lose track of time.
Laziness.
Yes. And when either me or Amma reminds you to make it fast and come out of the bathroom quickly or eat faster, you feel very irritated, right? That you are not being allowed to do things the way you want. You even sometimes become slower. Do you know why? It is because we feel tired.
Oh, this is only stubbornness. But why do we feel tired, Pa?
It is simple. We have spent all our energy. We don't realize that we have to exert energy, even to be lazy, or to be angry, or stubborn. We often don't mind spending our energy and show these negative qualities. But when it comes to doing something necessary and urgent, and especially if they are positive things like listening in class, or taking interest to learn something new, or practice for our music class, we often find ourselves to be tired. This is why we need to do our pranayams in the morning. So even by chance, if we are lazy, we don't feel tired. Pranayams give us a huge truckload of positive energy and the strength to pick ourselves up even if there are negative qualities within us. See, if we just go about doing the things we need to do in spite of the voices of laziness and stubbornness, we would have ended up spending far less energy than when we act according to the voices of laziness and stubbornness. We just need to realize this. The real challenge is then to channelize the energy in the right direction. This is the core symbolism behind the story. Now tell me, what's the next question?
Wait, let me think. Oh yes, who is Bhagadatta, Pa?
Good question. Bhagadatta was Narakasura's son. According to the Mahabharata, Bhagadatta would fight on the side of the Kauravas with a large army of elephants. The biggest of all these elephants would be Supratika.
Yeah, Lord Narayana predicted that. But my question is, why did Bhagadatta side with the Kauravas instead of the Pandavas?
Yes, that's another lovely question.
Yes, it is. Pa, what a lovely story. Isn't it, Archana auntie?
Yes, absolutely. What touched me the most was Garuda's unparalleled devotion for his mother. For all his merits and prowess, his innocent devotion and focus to free his mother from the clutches of slavery was just pure expression of his unconditional love. Mothers are always given unsolicited advice about how to care for their children. But it is heartwarming to note that no matter what the yuga, children never need to be told. They just naturally have unquestioning innocence from the very beginning. As important as it is to inculcate good samskara for the children, I truly believe that the journey for parents is to also nurture this innocence that children have innately in them.
Psst. Appa, this is the part where you tell me the answer, Pa.
Wait. It is a good question, but don't you want to know the answer to the main question?
Which one, Pa?
How did Garuda defeat Indra and free Vinata from slavery?
Yes, tell no.
Hear it first on
Ancient Anecdotes.
on your favorite podcast streaming providers.
Tune in for a brand new episode.